Hey everybody, it's good to see you all again. This segment is just to kind of let you guys know what is going on in this episode. So, in this episode, there is a situation. Towards the end, or anywhere in this episode, there is a blank. That means there's no sound coming in the episode, and you might think that is your fault. That is my fault. You can blame me, say it was my fault, because that is an editing problem, and that's because of recording and the recording platform that I use. If that happens to be in the episode, if that's in it, what you need to do is to just disregard it. Don't worry about it. Consider it like an ad break. Consider it like a break. Consider it like we're taking a 5 minute break. Consider it like that. So, no freaking out. No need to worry. Make sure you guys enjoy the episode, enjoy what's in it, and y'all have a good one. And enjoy this one. Really enjoy it and have fun. And please disregard the blanks in there. Consider them breaks. Hope you guys enjoy this episode and thank you guys for understanding and for your cooperation. Finally on the first try. On the first try. Do it every time. Hi guys. I'm not gonna stand back. I have returned and I'm so stoked for this. I'm here with FaZe, Farah, for Vic. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I apologize. I mispronounce names all the time. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But you'll introduce me, you'll correct yourself later. Anyway, I'm here with this incredible musician. And actually, this is in relation because if you guys watch Russ Hillier, they were actually former, no, not former, they're bandmates. Why did I say former? I'm sorry. They're bandmates, and having them both on here has been like so fun. So this is so exciting. I'm so honored for you to be here. Welcome to Wrap It Up. How you doing?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me. This is awesome. And people check out this content because it's amazing. The host is amazing. The guests are amazing. Let's support it. Let's support good content out there. So thank you so much for having me again.
Yes, of course. I'm on the move always, guys, just so you know. I'm always on Instagram and Facebook, always reaching out to people. Twitter is probably at the low. It's probably at the bottom. Let's just be honest. It's probably at the
Mm,
bottom.
yeah, yeah. The Twitter space is they different over there. We love them. We love everybody, but they're a little different over there.
Yeah, they're a little okay. They're a little okay. Honestly, Facebook and Instagram are probably the best ones for me.
I hear that.
But anyway, I'm so glad to have you with us. You're such a dope artist. I just had to get you either one way or another. I don't want to do the other.
Oh man, I'm so glad you reached out. It's you reached out at a very interesting time too, but I'm sure we will get into all that.
Oh yes, we will. But firstly, we should acknowledge you as a person. Would you mind giving the audience a little taste of yourself?
Sure. Again, artist name, Face Fair Vic. If you want to reach out to me, you just call me Vic. I am from Sacramento, California. Shout out to Sacktown by way of Benin, Nigeria. Niger stand up. Um, I have been making music off and on. Oh my God. Well, since 2005, kind of officially. Jesus, it's been a minute. Um, yeah, and been writing and did a lot of spoken word back then too. But I'm sure, like a lot of you, it comes and goes as you're in school or have work or have kids, and you can't always devote the time to the craft that you love as often. But I've been kind of back on the grind over the last 2 3 years. No, 3 years. 2018, about to be four. Oh my God, 2022 is around the corner. Crazy. Um, and yeah, part of that includes the work I did with Russ. Big shout out to Russ. What's up, Rusty? Over with Nomadic Odyssey. Shout out to Chow and sole provider, other group mates. And the Face Fair Vic concept or artist or evolution of myself came about quite recently, like a month and a half ago. So that's been very interesting. So yeah, peace and love to everybody. That's kind of the vibe I'm on. And again, very excited to be talking with you.
Yeah, dude, I'm so stoked you even agreed to be here. This is so exciting. This is so incredible. Yeah, you did mention it was an interesting time. I know you have an album, guys. He has a brand new album coming out October 11th, actually. So it's coming up this
It's
Monday. Yeah,
Monday.
right.
Yeah,
Just making sure.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yes, yes. Speaking about interesting times, why is it how re-meeting you was an interesting time? Just curious.
So a few weeks ago, I had a what I call the most creative, productive breakdown that I ever had. It's like, what? How do you have a productive breakdown? You know, I think a lot of people, especially a lot of people that listen to this podcast and a lot of people that you interview, artists, go through almost like a breaking point where they are getting too caught up in the business side of being an artist, right? That is the promotion and the connections you have to make, and you kind of constantly have to be in that mode. And when it came to our group, Nomadic Odyssey, I was kind of the one that I don't want to say was the responsibility was ceded to me. I decided to take it on from the jump. And I, you know, of course, we all have big dreams and aspirations. And, you know, when you're an independent artist and you don't have any, you know, any industry ties or anything like that, or barely any connections, you just kind of have your art and a dream. And me, I work a 9 to 5, you know, I work full time. It's hard. It's hard to kind of get that, you know, to get that traction, especially when you believe in, and others tell you that you're making decent music, right? So I kind of sat and was like, I was looking at the stuff I was creating and was like, I'm starting to cater to things that aren't necessarily me and that aren't necessarily who I want to be, right? And it was really nobody's fault. It was just kind of how things happened. And it was one night, shout out to another group, Rhyme Masters, especially for my hip hop folks out there and people who are just interested in hip hop. It is a community that is hosted by, shout out to my man Desmond and Jesse, who kind of co-runs it. They are all about making freestyle a lifestyle in terms of making people who love hip hop or love music or love, you know, just being able to create in the moment and making that not necessarily a thing to be monetized, but making it like yoga, something you do for yourself. And it has been transformational for me, especially during the pandemic, because we get together Friday nights, you know, over Zoom, plenty of beats, and we freestyle and we do different exercises, and we talk shop, just about being an artist, and it's just great to be in that space with those people. But I was actually there after that session, and I was just sitting there because it runs kind of late. And I was like, I gotta do something different. Like it was just almost like a lightning rod moment, and something that maybe was building up as I was trying to experiment with different things, and just was kind of like, I need to reinvent myself, or not even reinvent myself. I need to be true to who I really am, right? I want to get back to my roots. And how I got started in music, besides being a fan, was poetry. That was my first almost kind of love. I saw very early the ties between poetry and music and meter, and rhythm and how hip hop is an evolution of the great poets of the past. Um, so I wanted to kind of pay homage because I see where the world is going, or see where the industry is taking at least music, right? And I wanted to almost go in the opposite direction. I almost wanted to bring things back to bring things back to a slower cadence, a kind of a more, um, I say more mellow, but almost more poetic, right? The music I make is slower for the most part. Um, the way I talk and handle myself is slower. And I wanted to just bring it, in a world where, I mean, you live in it. Times are crazy right now. Online, offline, everywhere and everywhere. It's crazy. So, it's just, I wanted to kind of give listeners, a place to kind of like come and chill and really introspect, and and I wanted to bring people along for that journey. And I did. That's kind of that's how I kind of came up with the moniker Facefarer Vic. Phase is just a point in time, and we're all just kind of going through different phases. And a farer is a traveler, right? It's another word for traveler. So I'm just kind of almost like not necessarily time traveling, but yeah, we are going through different times and different emotions and different things. And I want to kind of connect them all and bring people on this journey as I and we, keep careening towards whatever the future or the next president is.
That makes perfect sense by the name. That makes perfect sense now. I thought it was a space thing too. I really thought that, but you went above and beyond. You truly did.
Thank you, thank you.
Of course, and it makes perfect sense. Also that you started music because of poetry, because basically songs are like poetry. They're
Oh yeah,
basically sort of almost like poetry, almost.
yeah. If you strip the rhythm away from any song, from any lyrics, and just look at the words as they're written, in most cases they're poems, right? They use the same metaphorical devices. They use the same rhythmic devices. And that's why, in a lot of cases you can take a song and change the rhythm and meter. And, you can have it as a country song. And then you can turn around and use the same lyrics and rap them, right? If you change if you change the meter and rhythm. So, their songs are poems, and poems can be songs. But I think for some reason is if you, unfortunately or fortunately, if you talk to most people who are, and I don't want to generalize, because generalizing is a part of the problem we have in this world, is we try to lump people together. But the fans that the music industry is trying to sell music to, they may not recognize that. And that's not their fault. It's most times we get exposed to poetry in school, right? Unless you're able to come across it some other way. But most times we found it out. We found poetry was in school. So just that alone is something we had to read, something we had to write a paper about. Then we had to turn around and write our own. The experience isn't great, right? Especially, school sucks in most cases. School sucks, no matter where you are, unless you have an amazing teacher. And I was lucky that I did. I actually had two really great English teachers in high school, and they really fostered, my writing and my interest in writing. Because it's weird, because I remember in Mr. Bryant's class, in that's a 10th grade. We were not only reading poetry at the time, but we were also reading it in the context of religious texts. So we were reading the Bhagavad Gita at the same time we're learning poetry and seeing kind of like almost how there's poetry even in those religious texts. Like even if you were, for the Christian folks out there, if you look at Psalms is there's, and it's in that sense it was kind of cool to see poetry that way, and then to be able to tie it into music at the same time. It just was kind of a magical time. But I'm almost biased and privileged to have that experience, right? Because that's not the experience everybody has. So I figured, part of my mission as this new me, Facefair Vic, is to kind of and of course I'm not the first one. This isn't a novel idea. Is to kind of keep poetry alive and bring it in to the 21st century. And that's why if you go to my Instagram, a lot of the content is my digital art and short poems that I write, right? And in hopes that somebody sees it and it can connect with them in some sort of way, right? And I think we have to change the frame in order to kind of evolve and keep that art form alive.
Yes, 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 yes. 100%. 100. And I love that you went in deep. What you said, your reading teacher would be so proud.
I hope so, because I actually had a relatively good experience in school in terms of teachers and just where my school was. We had our issues too. Trust me, every school has issues. You just have that many people from different backgrounds together. Things pop up, but for the most part, everybody's relatively chill. So and again, I'm biased and privileged and lucky to be able to have that experience, here in Northern California. Other people everywhere and other people don't. And I completely understand that. So I'm very cognizant of my upbringing and experiences and how they impact me today.
Oh, I love that you're very impactful. I love that. That's incredible.
Thank you,
Incredible.
thank you.
I'm just seeping this all in. You can't tell, but I'm seeping this in. I'm really thinking.
I know, making you
I'm
work
really
on a Friday. I know I'm terrible.
No, 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 no. See, podcasting isn't work. Let's not say that. I don't want to say this as work because I have jobs in real life. I This isn't really like a job. It's a pleasure almost. I'm
Yeah,
really much fine doing these. I mean, I don't really consider them like a job. I consider them more like opportunities for everybody.
word.
Because people they don't really like know the true meaning of why I do this. People think I just do it just for whatever, just to pass time. But if you really paid attention to interviews, I kind of tell the behind meaning of everything.
Mm, I have. And I think that's why you and what you do is so amazing, because I'm kind of glad you reached out. So then it's like, because then I found all the other interviews that you had done and was really able to get into those and some of the people that you've interviewed, and not even realizing you interviewed Russ, who deserves to be interviewed because Russ is amazing. Um, I think this is, I know we're supposed to keep it about music, but this is the stuff that people need to hear, right? Because it's, if so much of what we see, especially on Facebook and IG and even Twitter, we're always used to seeing maxims, right? The maximum. So we see artists with all their fancy clothes and and all the performing in front of millions of fans, and people get in their mind that that's what music is, right? When they see writers, they think, oh, J.K. Rowling, and they think of they see the people that at the mega tippity top, when the craft of writing, the craft of making music, the craft of even, having conversations and interviewing people and podcasts like you do. People do this daily. It's a part of life. And there's stories. There's stories that you may not be able to hear anywhere else, right? I mean, nobody else is reaching out to interview little old me. So again, I'm honored, and I get to tell you something and maybe teach you something that you may not have never heard if you've never listened to this podcast or listened to this interview.
Yes, yes, yes. I keep telling people that they don't get a lot of opportunities. Young artists, they don't. They really don't. I mean, besides me, would you really honestly say that you have gotten opportunities besides me to really showcase your talent? Would you say?
Well, in the context, the short answer is no. I've had to go out and make opportunities, right? But nobody came looking for me, right? If that makes any sense. You were the only one that came looking for me. And A, I appreciate that. But B, yeah, most of the opportunities that we had or in terms of the visibility aspect of being an artist, right? Which is trying to put yourself out there. Yeah, there's not really anything. And the reason why, this interview excited me is because A, I checked out your others, and B, you kind of pry in a way as to the why that we make music and the why that, why we do this. Why do we, because I could easily, it's not for the money. I'm not making any money doing this. I mean, thank God for my 9 to 5, because otherwise I ass out. But I do this really because I love it. And especially I feel this way about all music, but especially hip hop, because hip hop and rap dominates the world in a different kind of way, almost in other genres. I really feel hip hop and music and art in general is like a resource. I tell people this a lot. Just like the electricity that is powering our devices for us to have this conversation, I really believe that hip hop and music in general is a resource. And hip hop has taught me things and exposed me to things, either before I was exposed to them and I knew what to do. So if I was at a party and people started shooting, I mean, instinctually you would think, yeah, you need to run. But unless you've been in that situation, you may not always know what to do. So,
Yeah.
it's hearing it. It kind of, you can almost, especially when you're young, you're almost listening ahead to life. Listening ahead to, you're kind of getting clues to what the future may hold and what things might be before you, the kind of people you may meet, the kind of people, what people close to you may do to you, both good and bad. Hip hop really gave me an insight to that kind of stuff. And I listened. And being a kid whose family immigrated, right? Hip hop, helped me assimilate. It really did. Because I was really young when I came to America. I was one, if that. But both my parents are Nigerian, and we speak a different language at home. I have different expectations than my other friends at home, and in the world. Just shout out to my mom and dad, love them pieces. And hip hop kind of allowed me a gateway to connect with the people around me, right? Because we're all listening to the same music. We're kids in the same neighborhood. We're debating, politicking. Who's better, this or that. Back then, it was East versus West, and all these things had a profound impact on my development and who I was and who I became. And if you if I, for the most part, it's getting harder and harder as I get older, but point out a year or a moment at time or in life, I could probably give you a song, right? That that helped push me along, or something that made me think, or something I just will remember on this soundtrack of my life. So, and a lot of it is hip hop as well as other music, but hip hop is definitely key.
Yes, yes. And I'm learning a lot just right now. I did not know you were Nigerian. I didn't think I thought your ancestors was you were born in Cali. I thought so.
Oh no, I was born in Nigeria. I was born in Nigeria, Benin, Nigeria. Um, if in terms of the Face Fair, so before Face Fair, Vic, I went by another moniker, um, Agni the Bum, and
Mm.
there's a reason behind that. I was very in to MF Doom. I first heard him back, I want to say probably 2005, and loved everything he was about. Loved his music. Loved the whole velour of the villain. I'm very much creatively a child of Doom. Um, and I wanted to kind of build a moniker, right? To kind of counter myself. So Agni takes the first and last letters of my given name by my grandpa, who was a chief, Chief James Ine, and he rests in peace. Um, my Nigerian name is Agea Ubini, right, and that means anywhere I go in this world, Benin is my home, right? And that's very powerful, beautiful, and stuck with me, of course, because it's my name. So I wanted to pay homage to that. So I was like, and plus, not everybody's gonna say I got you, Beanie. Let's keep it a buck. So, so like, who now? So Agni, and the bum is, I wanted to play off of the fact that and I know this is, I get this a lot, but like, I know people talk about one of the things you think about Nigeria is you think of scams, right? And they're Nigerian prince. Well, in my culture, quite literally, I am a prince. And no, it's not nothing near as glamorous as it is in like Coming to America. Let's keep it a buck. But it still stands for something, and it's still something that I kind of hold dear and am very cognizant of, especially when I operate within the confines of my community, which is international, global, right? So in terms of the music, I was like, I wanted to kind of counter that and be like, well, what's the opposite of a prince, a pauper? But I was like, Agni the Popper does not sound no. So let's keep it gritty. Go Agni the Bum. And that was my moniker up until, well, technically still is. Agni is a part of me and always will be. But I wanted this new venture to be more of me personally, and not trying to, it takes work to make a character. And if on our nomadic albums, Agni is definitely a character. He's crass. Agni does not give a fuck. Okay. And yeah, he just doesn't. If Russ knew you were going to talk about it, you, but or you would have asked him about it. He's a character, and I write him to be such a way. But I wanted my new venture to kind of be more of me. There are still parts of me that don't give a fuck. Let's keep it a buck. But overall, I wanted to kind of bring have myself more cognizant in the creative in the creative process, in the creative space, versus trying to make a character.
Mm. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. I just love the concept of you that you do a lot of things and you develop as you go. That's really amazing. Props to that. That's really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. That's amazing how all this comes to play with your music. It's incredible.
Oh, thank you. It's been a lot. It's taken a lot of work, especially. I mean, you can even understand this. Just recording. right? All the things that can go wrong at any given moment. There's like, it's people think that creating is easy and like, oh, you're a podcaster, so you just talk to people. I was like, no, you got to get a schedule down. Like, oh, being a musician is just so, easy. Like, yes, your favorite artists make it look easy because they have millions of dollars of people behind them. They have publicists, they have engineers, they have A&R folks, right? But when you're independent, and especially an artist like me or an artist like a, we have to do everything, right? And there's only 24 hours in the day, and I spend 10 hours most days working. So, and then, so then I have to not only create and write and, make beats and do all that. You have to record. You have to, then you have to learn to mix, and mixing is expensive. So, and it's a skill that takes years to develop. And I feel like I'm just in my infancy in that. And yeah, and I'm sure with you, even, you have to get your equipment right. You have to learn how to schedule people, right? Because, people are fickle, and sometimes people suck and they're not professional. They're not taking things as seriously as you. And you're trying to build something. So it's, just trying to be a creator or creative during this, during this time is harder than it looks. So we got to give ourselves credit. But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Scheduling is the most painful thing because you got people from all over the world, and that's like the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, I can see
And
that. Yeah. Yeah. I listened to one of, oh man, the gentleman from that's now in Dubai that was from India. I think that was the last one I listened to. And the interview was amazing, by the way. And yeah, so I can't even imagine what the time difference, and trying to lock it down. Even honestly, for me, it took me a while to kind of lock down that Russ is, when we communicate, he's 8 hours ahead. Right? So I'm hitting him up, boom, 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 boom at, 4 p.m. here, and it's midnight over there. It's like, oh, he's not getting back to me. Oh, he's asleep. And I'm probably blowing up his phone and he's trying to sleep on a Tuesday. Right. So yeah, it's time management, calendaring, that kind of thing is definitely tough. But once you get it down, you got it down.
yes, 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 yes. That's why I had to use that form because I used to actually write down time that was frustrating. Yeah, no kidding. But it's all still good. It's all still good.
Yeah.
It's all still perfect. Thanks for sharing all that. I appreciate you.
No problem. I am prone to rambling. So please feel free to just cut me off, ask me whatever you want to know. I'm an open book.
Come on, dude. The more talking, the better. It's perfect.
Oh, I can talk. I know, but I know we got we got a certain amount of time here.
Alright, you good. Alright, I did want to jump into your album coming. Now we're talking about music. My God. My brain's also fried. I got to leave work early. I have early days. I'm so happy.
Gotcha.
But I did want to talk about your album. It's releasing on Monday and it's called Strange Poems. What's the development of the album? Like, tell me everything. Don't leave anything out. Like, tell me everything. Like, production, songwriting, inspiration, features. Tell me everything.
Gotcha. So, to go back a little bit, Strange Poems literally came about right after I had that productive breakdown. So, here's the crazy thing, and I think this is the thing that when I tell people, like, okay, like they get it. Just that little change in perspective, right? Where it's like, I'm going to really get back to myself and really put things together. I decided to give myself a new challenge. In terms of, and it's a challenge I used to have before, but I kind of evolved it. So for each song on strange poems, and it's funny because I have to catch myself because I actually renamed the album for primarily for marketing reasons. Because originally it was called "Shitty Poems, All Mellow Moods." and I love the title and but I was like, well, hold on, let me let me clean it up a little bit, because I want to be able to let more people in, and more, some people, they won't appreciate it. But if you hear it here first, the original title, and sometimes what I'll refer it as, the Shitty Poems on Mellow Moves. Turns to shitty to strange, just, for publishing and all that. So the challenge is to give myself in about an hour, sometimes a little over, most times a little less, to make a song essentially from start to dang near finish. So that includes, making the beat, mixing the beat, recording, doing some light mastering things, getting as much done as I could in an hour, right? The first couple of songs I did that with were Fiends and Oh Well on the album. Fiends is one of my favorite songs on the album, and I'll talk about that a bit. But I think this Fiends was awesome because it showed me that this concept could work. So one of my favorite poets and writers and things to read ever in life is poems by Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran is a poet slash writer slash just overall awesome entity from Lebanon. And some of his writing is just some of the most beautiful things on God's green earth. And two of my favorite books are by him are The Madman and The Beloved. The Beloved, I suggest everybody reads. Everybody. Because The Beloved actually taught me about love in so many different ways. It's actually incredible. Love between, of course, lovers. Love between God and man. Love between nature and things. Love between death and life. Go and read the book, people. If you don't even listen to my music, go and read the book. I'm that down for it. So I actually started. I go in and I make the beat on. I primarily use an MPC hip hop band's MPC Live, and one of the things I wanted to do with the production here is not use a ton of samples. A couple of tracks use some, but for the most part, everything you hear is playing it via the MPC in terms of instruments and stuff like that. So I really wanted to lean in and kind of really get into some musicality and to try some different things. I'm a huge fan of jazz and just wanted to go back and kind of be a one man and then some. So I would go in and make the beats, and then what I found very early on is that I wasn't writing anything. Of course, I read a couple of the poems, a couple of the songs, Fiends, and I think Fiends and Oh Well. They start with Khalil Gibran poems. There's excerpts. There are excerpts of the poems at the beginning. And then about halfway through, I just start freestyling. So none of the stuff aside from the poems are those two poems. Actually, those two poems on those two songs. Everything else isn't written. It's all mental stream of consciousness in the moment. Aside from, a couple other tracks I have on there, but for the most part, anything for this project, I sat down and freestyled. Like I just kind of was like, I'm onto something. So let me capture these things. Like this project is a bunch of tracks that were captured in the moment. Even the things that you hear me singing are captured in the moment. I didn't write them. And I realized that, okay, this is new for me because remember, I'm a writer, right? I'm a writer, and for the longest time, I needed to have my work even in front. Because one thing you need to know about me is that my memory, in terms of memorizing lyrics, is shot. I cannot memorize even lyrics I write. um, the sad is, as a mixer, I then memorize others, especially my bandmates. I can never memorize mine. I'm sure there is some sort of cognitive dissonance disorder of why I can't, and I will probably need counseling to get that looked at. But for whatever reason, I cannot memorize my own lyrics, which, of course, can be a hindrance to my music career. So I said, hey, at least I can freestyle, and I can come up with stuff in the moment. Let me lean into that strength. And that is kind of the most beautiful part of this album is even the poems, even the poems I spoke in the moment. And that was the first time I realized that I can do that, because for most of my life, poetry drove the writing, which drove the music. Now the music and that musical concept of, being able to freestyle could drive the poetry. And that's when I was like, oh, I've got something here. And, I try to hold back my enthusiasm because, of course, people may listen to it and be like, what the hell is this? You're right. You should have kept the title Shitty Poems because this is what they are. But it was a chance for me to really lean in and really explore those concepts in that short period of time, because for the most part, I had that project done in about 2 weeks. And, for that kind of quick turnaround, speed isn't everything. But the fact that, on the last Nomadic Odyssey album, that took us about to get finished. Honestly, we worked on that album for almost 2 years. But so that's it. I knew I had to try to do this, and I was able to do it. The crazy thing is, while I'm working on Spam, I'm working on the album that's dropping in November called Works. And this is an instrumental album, kind of along the same lines. I gave myself, for those, I actually gave myself kind of less time. It was kind of like a 45-minute or less, 30-minute or less kind of challenge. But those are all instrumental tracks. I basically, to sum up Works, it's kind of a lot of beats in the style of Spam, but it's almost my I'm using it as like my curriculum vitae for if somebody needs music for a Netflix special. And so if somebody needs music for an original series, it's Works is my resume. Because I would love to do that one day. I'm a huge nerd. Love anime. Love sci-fi stuff. So I wanted to kind of make music along the lines. If you're a fan of Cowboy Bebop and Yoko Kanno, I think you'll dig Works, because that's kind of what I try to embody a little bit. Try to mess around in different genres and different speeds and different vibes. And yeah. So Spam, Strange Poems or Shitty Poems, All Mellow Moods, is dropping on Monday. And why? Who drops an album on Monday? I don't know. Honestly, when I was picking a date, I was just like, oh, 10, 11, 21. 10 plus 11 equals 21. That seems like that works. That's the main reason why it's coming out on Monday. Other than that, yeah.
Sweet. I'm so excited for all that new stuff. For Works to come out, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked for your album too. And dude, I love writing. I don't know if I ever told you, but I love to write. I'm a songwriter, so just hearing that your album is poems and freestyles, like I love them. I love poems, and I love reading them. I've made poems. I've been songwriting for a very long time. So just hearing on that just makes me makes me want to cry a little bit because like I love that, like a happy kind of cry.
Yeah, I'm glad because I feel like so much of that is missing from like, when you follow even some of our favorite artists, like when you get to a certain level, like for the most part, you don't get that anymore. You don't get that kind of like gritty, in the studio, working through things, rewrites and oh, just that, when you're writing a song or you've got a melody, you're like, whoa, like, and those small moments like aren't you don't get those. And you get them with artists like us, right? Because that's why we do it, right? It's for those moments. It's for that song that we write about our heartbreak, our triumphs, and being able to take those emotions and those thoughts, those feelings that are very abstract and very, very near and dear to us, right? And turning them around and turning them into something that actually exists in the world, right? Creation and being an artist in a way is sometimes the closest thing we can get to, you know, God or, whatever higher power you believe in, if you believe in it. But, you know, it's that level of, it's that. It's, you're literally taking something from the void of yourself and putting it into the universe. That's beautiful. And, you know, we gotta, and, so much is, and I know other artists who hear this are going to feel that way. It's like so much of it now is, what do your streaming numbers look like, right? How many listeners do you have? How many followers do you have? Gee, how how it's become that in these metrics that determine whether or not you're a successful artist. But that doesn't need to be the case. The fact that you can create and the fact that you share it with us, people who love music and poetry and art and things, we can enjoy it. And oftentimes, seeing other people, and this is kind of my goal, seeing other people who work 9 to 5s, who may have kids or not, or may, not have, music be their primary source of, or their art be their primary source of income. I want to be able to inspire people to take the time to do things like write, to do things like make music. Not because you need to necessarily make a career out of it, but because it's good for you. And we need people to do more things that are good for them instead of being caught up in the toxicity of the world, whether it's online, offline, or wherever.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, listen to this man. He's speaking facts. You don't need to really listen.
I'm glad. And another thing too, before I forget, and it's kind of a challenge I'm giving myself, and also and for all intents and purposes, it ties into Spam. One of the tracks on Spam and the last single we put out, or I put out, I say we, shout out to my man Knows the Truth, is Heart. There's a song on the album, and Heart was crazy, and I got a little flack for some of my art friends for Heart. And it's because they, a lot of them understand what I'm trying to do in terms of, making a change and kind of reestablishing myself and putting myself out there. But a couple people are like, why would you put out an album? Why would you put out on an album that features you for the most part? Why would your primary feature be somebody else? And I was like, because I captured a moment. So Heart came about. Notes is my brother from another. He's an incredible artist out of Arizona. He's a hustler. I love that dude. Shout out to my bro. We talked dang near daily for a while, and he's actually him and my wife and another brother Avis. Shout out to Avis. Where instrumental in really pushing me to do this, right? To kind of tell my story as I wanted to tell it. We were going back and forth one day, Notes and and I was reading poems, or we were talking about poetry, and he read me a poem, and he read it to me, and I was instantly transfixed, and I was like, "Sir, I need you to record it out a cappella and send it to me ASAP." He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I got an idea. Just trust me, right?" He's okay, so he does. He then, we're then on the phone still. You see, he takes some time, records and gets it back to me. I then, listen to his acapella, and then I just start playing music to it, while it's going, and just while he's talking to me in my, in my DAW, in my workstation, and while he's talking to me on the phone, like we're having a conversation while I'm doing all this. I'm playing music to his poetry, right? And normally it goes the other way around, at least for me, right? And normally I make the music first, then the poems come later. But we started with the poem, and I just ended up laying down a very jazzy, dark, and kind of soulful song with a few synths, just to really, really, really take the listener somewhere. And I was like, I finished it, and I was like, "You got to hear this." And I send it to him, and he's like, "What do we do?" Because I had almost finished Spam, and I was like, "I know what to do. I'm gonna release it as a single and put it on the album." He's like, "Why would you do that?" Is it because we captured a moment? Like, we captured a moment, and it deserves to be celebrated. So, to build off of that, one of the things I want to do, and I would love for you to do this, I would love for you personally to do this, but for any of your other listeners, first up, hit me up on IG, like and follow. Shameless promotion, I'm sorry. But honestly, more seriously, if you have a poem, listen to heart. If you have a poem that you will like for me to bring to life with music, like I did with heart, send it to me. Send it to me, and I'll make the music, and I'll work with you in terms of if you're a poet or musician, and you under your thing, or if I get enough of these, I can make a separate project. But I just want to hear people's poetry, right? And I want to put my money where my mouth is, and really do my best and use my strengths and my talent, really kind of bring poetry back to the fore in the sense of music, and having and understanding that you can have poetry and music that is relatively current, because I think the pioneer of it was kind of Gil Scott-Heron way back in the day, right? And he's an incredible poet. Gil Scott-Heron is an incredible human being. Research the name. Yeah, he's incredible. But of course, there's the last poet, and but it's not. They're very few in terms of outside of hip hop, right, and outside of other songwriting that are specifically spoken word poems to music. The genre is very small. I want to add to it, and I think for most people, even though they're very similar, writing a poem is easier than writing a. So let's start there, and then we'll make it into a song. We'll make it into music. So, what do you think? And is that something you'd be down to do?
My God.
Hate to put you on the spot. Well, what do you think
Yeah.
about the concept first, and then would you be down to do it?
Oh my God, wow. I've never been asked that before. Oh God. Oh my God. I've written poems before, actually. I actually wrote one for a contest. I didn't win it, but I wrote it for a contest, and I still have it just I have it written still. It's just in my notebook. But yeah, that's a poem I did write a long time ago. It was really based on the racism and of
Mm.
the black nonsense that happened during the pandemic. I wrote
Mm.
about it. I have it saved somewhere. Oh, there it
Okay.
is. It's in that book.
There you go. And here's the thing too. Listen, it does not it does not have to be, you know, you don't have to bust out your Maya Angelou, okay? It does not have to be powerful. Like, it doesn't have, no, I shouldn't say it doesn't have to be powerful, because it most likely will be. It could be a short story. It could be an experience that you have. How it made you feel. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a poem. I just kind of feel like I want to, the challenge for myself is to try to bring music to life and life to music. And poetry is easy. It's easier to do that, but I would love to be able to tell a short, somebody tell, or maybe an experience that you've had. Record yourself, talk, even if it's you're yourself just talking, thinking through things. People think poetry has to be this thing, but it's not. It doesn't. Poetry can be anything and everything. But what changes it is the context of it. So if you got it, great. If not, just think on it. We are living beings who are constantly thinking. But once people realize it, we think in poems, we feel in poems, and sometimes it's just being able to verbalize and get it out. So that's for you, and that's for anybody else that hears it that is interested, because I would love to do that for people, because yes, Notes is a musician, and he's Notes is so awesome. You should probably interview him next, or you get a chance. But even for him, I think it was a moment, because when we're rappers or MCs, we're almost taught that the poetry is different, and it is, because as an MC, we're beholden to the music, we're rhythm, rhyme scheme. With the poetry, we have a bit more freedom to be more direct, to not so much worry about the rhyme scheme or how it sounds, but being the impact, and trying to make sure each line has some sort of weight, or the story really evolves. And I think even for Notes, it was a moment where he's like, this resides in me, right? He is a, and but I don't think he rode that bike. He hasn't ridden that bike for time. So just for it to hear him and hear it over the music, and hearing the tone, and I think it really did something for him, because after that, man, he's been busy just creating. And I want to be able to do that for people. I want people to people who maybe never heard themselves recorded outside of maybe like a video on their phone, to have music and to have their experience, something just made for them, is what I want to try to do. So I'm gonna try to do it.
That's perfect, dude. And I love what you're doing. Certainly, definitely, definitely love that you're gonna be bringing poems to life. That's pretty powerful that you're doing that, and I major respect for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I just, at the end of the day, I what success looks like for me, right, is, you know, yeah, of course, all the things that we as artists want, followers and streams and money and all that. But honestly, if none of that comes, cool. If I can inspire, if I can make this world a little bit easier to live in, right? Give people an outlet, make something that people can connect with, and just like artists before me and poets before me and rappers and singers and everybody in between, they gave me when I needed it. I want to give somebody something that they may need when they need it.
Yes, yes. Praise on, praise on. Yeah, I might have a poem from you. I might have one for you if you're interested later on.
Okay, send it over and we'll talk. And if you haven't already, go and listen to Heart. Well, I mean, you've actually listened to some of my music, so in terms of the production, in terms of the sound, you know that I'm different. Try to do I and honestly, it's a struggle because I don't know what I sound like in terms of like what kind of music. Is it lo-fi? Is it classical? It's everywhere. Okay. But you understand what I try to do music. I'm sure you're hearing during the showcase. But yeah, I do things a little bit differently, and I think I really what I try to do and try to do with notes and heart was just listen to whatever I hear and then just try to match the tone and timbre and to go from there. So I'm really excited and can't wait to hear what you send me. And yeah, we'll go from there. And for anybody else, yeah, Faze Fair Vic on Instagram, DM me. Also like and listen to the podcast here. And yeah, we'll go from there. I think I want to hear what people and see what people bring to the table. And, I feel like people need this. I know I need this, right? Especially for all the reasons why you wrote your poem. We need this. So I wanna make that available to people.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Major respect for you. You got two times respect from me.
Thank you. That really means a lot because the respect is mutual. The respect is definitely mutual.
Yes. Yes. Now, what is your Insta again?
Faze Fair Vic or Faze Fair, yeah, one of the two. I don't know. Is that new? Sorry.
Never
Or
mind. I found you. Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
Got
yeah. If that one, or if for some reason you can't find that one, the nomadic Odyssey, nomadic. No, they both. I run both. They both come to me, so I can get them there too. So yeah.
sick. Awesome. Oh, you were really into the album and really into everything. I appreciate that.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so. It's been an experience, especially in such a short. Let me speak. Short amount of time. um, we're really talking both albums in terms of works and spam. We're done really in 3.5 weeks. And I just kind of put my head down and just kept making stuff. And there's even stuff that didn't make the album. I'll be honest with you. I probably made like 50 or 60 songs in a 3-week span. And I think 20, 28, maybe no, 12, about 20. I think there's 26 between the two albums are there. Yeah. And it's just, and again, speed, it's not that the speed, it was just the phase I was in, for lack of a better term. The phase I was in, and things just came together, and stuff like Heart came happening, and so much has come out of just that productive breakdown. That I'm better for it. I feel like I'm a better artist for it, and now I want to pay that forward. But if I don't say anything else, I am one that is about self-care, right? I don't care. I know we're going to keep it about music. I don't care where you're from, who you voted for, what you believe, whatever, right? I don't. I really don't. but I believe we need to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of. I know that's a very glossy, glass of rose-colored, rose-tinted glasses type view of the world, but we've got enough other stuff out there. So I want to do my best to kind of contribute to that, and I want to let everybody know that you are valued. Okay, you are valued, and from me, you are loved. And I'm trying to spread that vibe. And I know, again, some people get weird about it. It's whatever. Okay. And that is the soul of from where I create. And you know what? I make a lot of music where I call out the system. Okay. That's basically a lot of my verses in catalog with Nomadic. See? And um even some here in Face Fair. And I'll always continue to do that because I believe that's where the problem.
Mhm.
But I will, I'll always try to put people first. And yeah, I don't discriminate, when it's one nation under the, and yeah, so be people, be well, and do what you need to do to take care of yourself and yourselves and your families and your loved ones. So then that's how you can really make the world a better place. Take care of yourselves and others, and yeah, we'll hopefully get to where we need to be.
Yes, yes, yes. Hopefully, it's a possibility though. The way you're going, possibility.
Hope so. I'm definitely gonna keep doing the work. Um, I'm excited. I'm kind of exhausted now because so much has happened. Um, and of course, I've got promoting to do, and at the same time, I'm working on this on this people poetry project, PPP. um, um, but I'm energized in the sense that I've gotten the level of support, people like yourself, and just the other people that I met in this short journey. It's been incredible, transformational, and reinvigorating. Like, people don't realize how close I was to quitting. I was about to hang it up. Honestly, this was even before that breakdown. I think this was in like August. I was gonna hang it up. I really
Oh wow.
was. Yeah. I was just, you know what? Let me just work my 9 to 5 and play video games and not deal with all this stuff. um yeah, but then it honestly would have been betraying a part of myself, and I knew it. If I quit. I quit before. I've had hiatuses, and I would still make music during those hiatuses. And it's like, I know this is what I need to do. I just need to change my perspective about how I go about doing it. So then that way I can continue to do it.
Yes, yes. I'm so proud. I can't believe you're able to jump back. Almost giving up. That is major respect points. Ding ding.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll really, on more levels, you know, being here talking with you, I've been anxious. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous. So, like, I don't want to mess this up. But again, you're a gracious host. You give me the space to kind of and allow me to ramble, which I have no problem doing. So I really just appreciate it and you.
Of course, dude. I want this to be comfortable. If bammling all over is your definition of comfortable, I can live with that.
Definitely.
I can live with that. Alrighty. You really went far and beyond. You've answered all the questions I had in mind. At least most of them. So let's jump right in here. Time for a switch. So I've given you some time to ask you some look, I'm stuttering so badly. I asked you questions. Now you get to ask me some. This is a switch interview, so you can ask me anything you want. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I have stuttering issues, and that's just me. Yeah, we can't.
Okay, so we're going reverse now. Man, let me see, because I already asked you about a poem. That was one question that I had for you. I'm glad you have it. And it has to be about music, right? I'm assuming.
It can really be anything. Most people just stick to music, but if you have anything outside of music, I'll try my best. You can also dare me something. If you watch the show, people have actually dared me to do a few things.
Ooh, dare. um, I'm gonna dare you to freestyle.
Mm,
No.
oh, oh dear, really?
Alright, here's what we can do. One thing I
Oh
do want to
god.
ask you. One thing I do want to ask you is, um, you interview a lot of different artists, right?
Mhm.
And what is the thing that excites you, or what is the thing that you look for the most what's the thing that excites you the most about doing this, right? Because you're taking the time out of your day to, interview, and then God, who knows how much time you spend editing, um, to build this platform. Like, what is it that, what is it you get from it? Like, I appreciate it, but what is it that you get from it?
Good question. Love it. I love that. It's a huge question. So every single interview I look forward to, I really look forward to meeting them and knowing their background because when I meet artists, I meet them through Instagram or Discord or Facebook. I don't know much about them until I meet them, so it's almost like a field trip I'm taking to meet them. It's like almost a field trip. So that's kind of like the attitude I have when I'm about to interview them, and when I look forward to in interviewing really is to know their background as an artist. I want to actually know they're a serious artist or they're just developing because I've interviewed musicians that haven't put anything out and they're developing. So I really want to know like what kind of artist are you? I just want to know for myself so I know who I'm dealing with. Because artists that really take the time out and they really do shit and they really take time in, that's people that I majorly respect 100%. Those are people that I want to kind of get to know more. I want to get to know artists that are just developing. I want to know brand new artists and their plans for the
Mm,
future so maybe I can help. That kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. You know what's funny is I am the same way, in the sense that I understand. I understand this thing can be a business, right? It's a art and it's a business, right? It's something that you do, and something that could, if you play your cards right, transform your life and the lives of people around you. Um, I want to know the same things about artists, before, even sometimes before I collab with them, right? Like,
Yeah.
um, I'm recently, Russ and I actually are collaborating with, that I met on Reddit because of a question that he asked, and we hit it off, and we're doing two songs on his album. Like, Russ, I once I get permission, I will send them your way. Russ did a verse on one that just is amazing, and yeah, but but yeah, it's seeing the manner of people, right? Because we live in a world that's, it's a beautiful time to be an artist because anybody could do it, right? But at the same time, it's, are you serious about it? Who are you? Are you real? Like, for me, I don't care what kind of music you make, the kinds of things you put in your lyrics, but are you real about it? you and you will never hear me rhyming about killing somebody unless it was like metaphor, because that's not me. I know who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am, especially as an artist, and even in the space of right. I'm not. You won't hear me rhyming about drugs too much, outside of what the pharmaceutical companies are trying to put in us. Um, but I know who I am, right, and I know the kind of music that I want to make. I know it's a take that's not always popular, right, and that's fine. It is what it is. But I agree with you 100%. We kind of have to weed out, or not weed. We gotta fakey fakes out. You know what I'm saying? That wanna play artist, but don't want to be artist.
Yes, yes, 100%. And I do not. Well, it depends though, because I don't want to ever encounter anyone that does not take. I don't want to meet anyone that doesn't take their craft very seriously. That means that they're either faking or they're doing it because of money. I do not want to ever do that. So, what you said, 100%. I'm on it. I'm with it, and that's the truth.
In terms of other questions, like that's the one I like to know the why. Um, in terms
Oh,
of I don't have anything else on the top of my head other than the dare again and happy freestyle. But
all
I'm
right.
also
I'll
not gonna
I'll
make.
do one. I'll do one.
You will?
I'll do one. I
Okay,
will
okay.
even make it.
I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you. I made it be specifically for this. And let me
Oh
know
no,
when
no,
it's time for the
no! I can't let
showcase or
you
what.
use it.
Huh?
I can't let you use it. Please no.
You said what?
Can't let you use that beat. I need to. I want you to use it for your showcase. This is. I didn't even pick a beat for this freestyle. I just wrote it. I never picked a beat for it. I don't know why. I didn't. I just didn't.
So wait. Hold on. The freestyle that you have, you written it?
It's just written. I don't. I don't record music, so it's just written.
Okay, here's the thing though. And I'm glad we brought this up because one of my most infamous or famous Instagram posts so far, and the one I've received for a lot of interactions for, is my one regarding freestyle. Now, look, I know this is not a popular take, and I know I may sound like a get off of my lawn type of hip hop artist, but freestyles are not written. Freestyles are spur of the moment, in the moment, stream of consciousness. Uh,
Let me
so
rephrase that. I should have rephrased it. I spit it out and wrote it. I did all that.
uh,
I actually spit it out. I actually
okay, you spit
spit
it
it
out, but
out.
you wrote it, but now it's not a freestyle because you memorized it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and so I would use it like universally when people ask me to do freestyles. It's the only one I can manage to do. And yeah, I'm glad you actually asked me about it because, guys, I see. So firstly, I see your question. I mean, you're right. Freestyles are not supposed to be written down. Yet people put them on YouTube and people remember freestyles. They put them on YouTube, and I had to do it because honestly, I'm shitty at freestyles. It doesn't matter where I am or who I'm with. I'm always gonna be terrible at freestyles. No matter who helps me, I just can't do it. I just don't like them. And that little freestyle I made last year, and I only made it because people wanted me to try and freestyle.
Mm,
They wanted to see what I can do. And since I don't record music, I had to write it down some way or send it to them in some type of form. Because I don't record music. I don't know if I will record music. I'm not really sure.
it's
So
okay. Let's
to answer
break
your
this down.
question,
I'm glad we're talking about this because I know I'm staunch on, what I define as a freestyle. One of the things though is there first of all, if you don't like to do it, don't do it. I'm not gonna make you do it if you don't want to do it. Um, Second of all, yeah, the fact that you feel like you had to write down and memorize it, that is a problem in itself, right? You freestyling should be something that is fun, that if you're bad at it, fine. Because that's how we all start out. Oh my god, if you heard some of the first freestyles I ever spat, you would think it's a different person than the person that's talking. And that's okay. I think one of the things that we really try to do at Rhyme is we aren't battling, okay? This is freestyle as yoga, right? We need to take away the expectations of that. Unfortunately, those artists on YouTube set. Okay, if you take an artist like Black Dot, okay, and even guys like Common had the big one on the LA Leakers. If you, as a student of hip hop, listen very close to people's freestyles throughout the years, you'll be surprised that it's okay to memorize and inject lines every now and then. Because I've heard freestyles from Black Thought that became songs, or songs that became freestyles. So it can work both ways. But I feel like we kind of need to kind of set the definition in stone for cultural reasons. Okay. And when I say culture, I mean just the culture of hip hop. And I say this because I came across a person that I recently met, have a ton of respect for, love their music. They sat there on Leon G and they posted a video, reading a song off their phone, and they were getting it. I'm like, yeah. But then I see the title of the song and it's like, wait, freestyle. So I think the best determinant of it is what is happening, what is the source of the words in the moment, right? If I start spitting like this off the top of my dome, sitting on my throne at home, scolding bones like it's poison, none of that was written. That's a freestyle. But if I grab my lyrics that I wrote previously and read them to you, that's not a freestyle. Yeah. I think it's the source of the words. So, getting back to you. You don't need to feel any type of way about it. If you don't like to do it, you want to do it. But here's the thing. Here's one of my pet peeves. Okay, is don't say you will never be good at something without having put out the time and work. Like, okay, some things are apparent. Listen, I'm 6'1", 250 pounds, flat-footed. I'll probably never dunk a basketball. I'm okay with that. So for me to make that projection, it's probably true. Could I sit there, get back in shape, lose weight, have my knee fully repaired? Yeah, I could. But, okay. Yes, you don't record music, but you have recording devices. You walk around one with your pocket. If you really wanted to, you could get better. If you don't want to, that's okay. That's okay. But I think we need to kind of have, as hip hop fans, a conversation about what we deem as a freestyle, because and what's in other things that may be changing within the culture. Because if the culture dictates that, hey, if I have it memorized and I recite it and it's a freestyle, okay. But I don't know if we're there yet. And I guess I have to leave that to the other, more prominent gatekeepers and stuff like that. But that's just my 2 cents. You still there? You leave me? Yep. Did I make you mad?
I'm still rocking.
So tell you what. So we're going to skip on the dare, but here's what I will ask of you. This is what I was going to originally ask. Okay. Is give me some things you want to hear.
What do you mean here?
When I do the showcase, when we do the showcase, because I'm going to freestyle from the top. I have no idea what I'm going to say for the most part. So, what is it that you would want to hear me rap about? I
Mm,
mean, you're lucky. I feel like I'm lucky because I'm here with you, and spent time interviewing people from all.
mm,
Um, how often, and most people come with their songs, prepared to perform. I wanted to take the opportunity to kind of highlight a skill that I have, but B, to pick your about, and it could be about anything. I'm down. Especially one of the things I'm kind of interested in is a and the source of the pain of the poem that you wrote, because like I think we may share in that pain without getting too deep into it. Um, Especially with the things that we just keep finding out about every day. Um, so if you want me, I can try my best to get into that. And yeah, but if there's anything you want me to rap about, let me know.
mm. You know what? I do everything. If we were to really read through my poem and look through it, you'll definitely see deepness in it. If we really took time, if we really could,
Yeah,
would definitely. If we actually went through it, you'll definitely see deepness in it.
I want to. Maybe we schedule some time offline when you're free. Let's definitely do that. I really
Yeah,
want to.
sure.
I really want to.
Sure, and you know what? Think I'll do that. I'll do a poetry read.
Okay.
Everybody take a seat. Get nice and comfy. Nice and comfy. I have a blanket over my head. I'm just kidding. I don't have a blanket. But maybe I'll do a little poem reading instead of you know, the
Yeah.
freestyle. Everybody, this is a poem that I wrote last year. Sorry, I was thinking of 2019, but I wrote owl. God, owl. I wrote it last year. Um, I'm trying to find it in this stupid book. I'm trying to find it.
No worries.
Alright, no worries. So yeah, this is something that I wrote. I don't think y'all have heard the poem yet, so this is the very first time. Only other people is that my parents and the person that ran the competition, they read it. Um, no, Vic, you might want to brace yourself. It is quite a read. It's not a long read. It's not a long poem.
Okay.
Trust me, it's not. This poem is called "On the Edge." Hey, ooh. All right, here we go. On the edge of hate, red and blue. So now we meet again. No shake of hands, high profile case of officer brutality. I wallow in my counter thoughts. This is where they wander. Excuse me. Ugh. On the edge of hate. Sidewalks talk. God, anger, Lord, exhaustion. Dry, raining streets quietly. So hot, rainy. I sidewalks walk. Oh, noise, city just distrust of the police. Cops so white on the edge of hate, negative stereotypes. It is so true. Some are more common than others. They do not form without reason. Does that make the race good or bad? One stereotype for all? On the edge of hate, racism, a nasty word that conjures thoughts of oppressive deeds made by man because of creed. On the edge of hate, discrimination, another one that binds our minds and sharpens tongues because of some elist thought that unjust and painfully wrong. Fighting wars because of God, tramping on the under God. But we have legislation to banish discrimination. Equal opportunity is the current phase or incantation. On the edge of hate. Almost done. Rules and laws are needed where some of us would dare to think in ways that denigrate others on the earth, our place. Racism, There's just one human race, no matter what form they face, and discrimination, a faculty we all possess to separate what's bad from best. Discrimination would be good if it was used for what it does, revealing what unites all of us. The call of the world, all join as one. The Lord is our shepherd, and we were his son. Christ made all men in the life. So please let us get away from the edge.
Mm, mm, mm. That was beautiful. What? You got it like that?
Yep, I wrote all
Yo,
that.
yo, yeah. Please, when you get a chance, even if it's just on your phone, record yourself reading that again, or maybe we could pull the audio from this. But yeah, I would be honored if you would allow me to try to make music to that,
Yes,
because I got
totally.
chills.
Oh, chills? You seriously
I have
did?
chills. I'm not lying. Yeah, this is what poetry does. These are the stories people need to hear, because unfortunately, as much as we want, or as much as we try to put our hand in the sand, they keep happening. And yes, the things that evoke all the emotions you just talked about leave us on the edge. And oh, your discrimination, what discrimination should do. Jesus Christ, man. If you knew, like, oh my God, you made my day, and you're interviewing me, but I'm taking more away. Jesus, that was fantastic.
Oh, thanks.
That was
Well, I didn't
incredible.
know it was that good. I didn't win the competition, but I didn't know it was that good.
Listen, okay, we have my album's not gonna win a Grammy. Does that mean that it's bad?
Oh,
Like,
no.
just because somebody whose job is judge stuff says that it's not good enough, does that mean that it's bad? No.
Oh.
No. Let's change the context in which it's heard. And yeah, you know what's funny, and you know why I have it's part of it is because of everything we just talked. So many people have poems or things they wrote or thoughts or stories like that. And God, it's not your fault, but it's doing a disservice sitting in that notebook when people could hear it. You know what I'm saying? People could see it and read it and enjoy it. And I'm gonna be working on some things in terms of stuff. I mean, of course, the project I'm working on now, pulling out
Oh.
those stories and from people in general in 2022. Um, I'm trying to kind of establish my own platform thing and figure out the X's and O's of keeping it sustainable. But I want to do that because of the moment that we just had, where you know I don't want to. I felt it. Everything that you said, all the questions you asked, I felt it. But the way you put things so beautifully, I'm transfixed. So again, I applaud you. And for folks out there listening, like, yeah, if you have anything like that, and it could be about it, hit me up. Man, fate, the universe, whoever brought me here to hear that first. So my hope is that we're not missing out on more moments like that. That was fantastic.
Oh, thanks. I know it was all that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the thing. We downplay ourselves too often, and it's something that, of course, I do and suffer from. But I think we think things have to be the superlative to be good, and I'm honestly, if I just took the line about what discrimination should do and gave it to my MC friends, they would flip because we love words like that. We love, wordplay like that. And that was your fuel. You need to give yourself more credit than you do.
Oh, I will. I will. And I'll definitely send it over. Now you just gonna like read it, or you gonna actually like record it?
I was hoping you would record it. I wanted to hear it in your voice. So,
Like you want me to like rap and sing on it, like something like
no,
that?
no. Just read it as you did, as you just did. Read it, just read it like that. You don't have to rap, record, sing. I just want people to read their stuff. And if for some reason, you're not comfortable doing that, I could read it. I can read your writing for you. And of course, I would, give you credit and insight, and of course, cite my sources and whatnot. Do it that way. I will leave it up to you. I'm still trying to figure out what people are right. And of course, I want to make people comfortable. So I have no problem reading it if you want to send it over. But honestly, I would prefer to hear it in people's voices. Read it in your voice.
Perfect. I'll do so.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. And you know what? If you stumble, it's fine. It's fine. It does not have to be perfect. In fact, that's one of my creative mantras. I would rather have capture something in the moment and have it be flawed than have it be overly rehearsed and perfect. Please.
Cool. Good to hear. Thank you for all that. I have to say this: if we go any further, this will turn to 3 hours, and no one will watch anything past an hour. I would like for you to start your freestyle. I know we don't have time for the game. We have to like. I'm not rushing you or anything. I just really need to like wrap things up because like, no offense to you, I don't want to ever rush you. It's just we're like kind of limited. Well, I'm limited on
No,
time.
I
I still have
understand.
to do a
Nobody's going to
lot.
watch a 3-hour podcast. I can get into it. Let me know. Go.
No, barely an hour. So go ahead. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and start your freestyle.
All right. Let me know if this come through. Is that coming through?
Yes.
Okay. This is just for you. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Agni Bum with Musically on the Rapping Out podcast. On the edge of something new. I know I need to get it together like hops and water forming a brew. I know I need to find the truth. Blue. I love people of all the hues. I know I'm gonna on the edge of the precipice. I know I need to take a risk and to let fate kiss me. Maybe I'll give her back. I'm ready to react and do the dance, man. I'm lamping ahead. I get in when I'm doing this. Yes, everything you hear was made by me. Try my best to keep it down. Honestly, it's hard because I'm often between two hard places: politics, God, country. Well, deal with the fallacy of conformity. I'm exploring the. I'm talking. So now we're just gonna keep going in, passing things off to the here and now, then and there. I hope you hear this and understand that Starveyor Vic, he's a breath of fresh air, and you need it to breathe and survive. Yes, gonna let it play out, man. A lot of deep convos. So we on the edge of the end of this episode, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. Again, I want to just spread the good energy to the people. Much love and light.
Wow, that was incredible. That was amazing.
Thank you. Again, thank you for having me and sharing everything that you shared and allowing me to share.
Yeah, of course. That was actually pretty good, not gonna lie.
Thanks, I try. For not having anything planned or everything stream of spur of the moment. You know, yeah. But again, I know we're not trying to go over. Much gratitude, love and light, support people. Please check. If you're an aspiring artist, if you're a veteran artist, this is what you need to hear. You need to hear what's happening, what people are into, and what they're doing.
Yes, yes. 100%. That was pretty good. How'd you come up with that?
What, the freestyle or the music? Honestly,
Both?
both. Honestly, I just sit with the music. I just sit and play around with the instruments and catch a melody, and then it builds and builds and builds. I actually recorded myself making the beat for this just because I thought it would be cool to have. So I will get that up to YouTube, and then you can see the beat. The freestyle, I kept referencing on the edge because of your poem, and it just moved me. But I wanted to just take a different play on it, kind of lighten the mood. Um, do the braggadocio type of freestyle. But yeah, that's basically it. I just kind of go with the music and go with whatever my mind. Hope that it's good.
It was fantastic. And thank you again for coming by. You have spoken a lot more than I thought you would. I appreciate this, though. This has really been an amazing conversation. I can't believe this is your first interview. You should really do more.
I'll try, and hopefully I'll do more here.
Hopefully. Hopefully. But again, thank you. And thank you, fans, for tuning in. Do you have any lasting thing for the fans before we head off?
No, I guess a bit of shameless self promotion and listen to Strange Poems, all Mellow Moods. It should hopefully be on all platforms by Monday. Um, Check me out on IG. I have all the links there. But most of all, like I said, and been trying to say throughout, please, people, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves, take care of others. Be good to yourselves and be good to others.
Yes. Thank you. Guys, make sure to check out his brand new album coming. And since it'll be released later, it'll be released. So I'll put links down below to check it out. Thank you all again for tuning in. Oh God. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been incredible to do. It's the longest we've ever done. Um, how this look. But I appreciate you coming by. You've been such an amazing friend, and I'm so stoked to have you. Um, you guys make sure to check out Vic down below in the link. If you don't, suck a dick, you losers. Thank you as always for supporting. Make sure to always support. Wrap it out by following us. We have lots of exciting things coming up. So keep on following us on social media. Keep on doing so, and we'll keep bringing more content. Thank you, Vic, for coming by. Thank you, and I think that's pretty much it now. That's a wrap up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Do not be losing out the crowd. Make sure you tune to the brand new album coming on Monday and coming in the month. Do not be losing out the crowd. See you guys soon and have a great rest of your night or day. Because I hate time zones, then see you guys in the next one I do and